A quiet morning at the Detroit Golf Club. Professional golfers are warming up for the Rocket Mortgage Classic, one of the PGA Tour's biggest events. Suddenly, a teenager steps onto the first tee. Not just any teenager, a 15-year-old kid who shouldn't even be here. The crowd whispers. Veterans glance sideways. This is Miles Russell, and he's about to shatter every expectation you've ever had about how young is too young to compete at golf's highest level. What happened next sent shockwaves through the entire sports world. While his classmates were worried about algebra homework, Miles was draining 30-foot putts against golfers twice his age. He didn't just show up. He made the cut, becoming the youngest player to do so in over 8 decades. But here's the thing. That was just the beginning. What Miles has done since will make you question everything you thought you knew about athletic prodigies. This is a story of how a 16-year-old became golf's most inevitable superstar. Before we dive into Miles Russell's incredible journey, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're covering the most exciting stories in golf, from rising stars like Miles to the legends who paved the way. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's get into how this teenager became the future of golf. Most people first heard the name Miles Russell in June of 2023. That's when, at 15 years and 294 days old, he stepped onto a PGA Tour course for the very first time. But his story actually started years before that moment. On driving ranges in Jacksonville, Florida, where a kid with an obsession began outworking everyone around him. Miles wasn't born into golf royalty like some junior phenoms. His father wasn't a touring pro. He didn't have Tiger Woods teaching him since he could walk. What he had was something more dangerous, pure, unfiltered hunger. While other kids were playing Fortnite, Miles was hitting 500 balls a day. While they were sleeping in, he was on the course at sunrise, working on a pre-shot routine that would make tour veterans jealous. But natural talent and hard work only get you so far. What separated Miles from every other dedicated junior golfer was what happened in April of 2023 at the Lake Charles Championship, a Korn Ferry Tour event. The Korn Ferry Tour is essentially the minor leagues of golf, where players grind to earn their PGA Tour cards. It's brutally competitive, and making the cut is difficult even for seasoned professionals. Miles wasn't just competing. He was 15 years old, playing against guys who'd been professional golfers longer than Miles had been alive. The odds were astronomical. History wasn't on his side. No one that young had ever made a Korn Ferry Tour cut. Ever. And then Miles went out and shot rounds that left commentators speechless. He moved through that course with a calmness that shouldn't exist in a teenager. No panic, no nervousness, just pure, calculated golf. When the weekend arrived, Miles Russell's name was above the cut line. He'd done the impossible. He became the youngest player ever to make a Korn Ferry Tour cut, shattering a record that many thought would never be broken. Golf media exploded. Social media went insane. And suddenly, every major golf publication was asking the same question. Who is this kid? Here's what makes Miles Russell different from every other talented junior golfer out there. It's not just his swing, though we'll get to that in a minute. It's his complete game. Most 15-year-olds excel at one or two things. Maybe they can bomb drives. Maybe they're great putters. Miles? He has zero weaknesses. His driving is long and accurate. His iron play is precise. His short game is creative and clutch. And his putting? Ice cold under pressure. When Grant Horvat, one of golf's biggest YouTube personalities, played with Miles for a video titled "The #1 ranked 15-year-old golfer in the world," even Grant, a phenomenal player himself, was blown away. Miles was shaping shots on command. High draws, low fades, flop shots with a 3-iron that had no business working but somehow did. TaylorMade Golf signed him immediately. They saw what everyone else was seeing, a once-in-a-generation talent who could be the face of golf for the next 20 years. They featured him in videos, showcasing his shot-making ability. One clip went viral showing Miles hitting every imaginable shot shape with effortless precision. Mind-blowing doesn't even begin to describe it. But physical talent is only half the equation. What truly makes Miles special is his mental game. Golf is 90% mental, especially at the highest levels. You can have the prettiest swing in the world, but if you crack under pressure, you're done. Miles doesn't crack. During his second PGA Tour start at the Butterfield Bermuda Championship in November 2023, now 16 years old, Miles walked those fairways like he'd been there his whole life. Cameras everywhere, thousands watching, legends of the game in the same field. And Miles? Calm, focused, professional. Interviews with Miles reveal something rare, maturity beyond his years. He doesn't talk like a teenager. He talks like someone who's studied the game, who understands course management, who knows that golf is a marathon, not a sprint. That kind of mental strength, you can't teach it. You either have it or you don't. Miles has it in abundance. Let's talk about December 2024. Bryson DeChambeau, one of the biggest names in golf, a major champion, a guy who hits the ball further than almost anyone on the planet, invited Miles to play in YouTube video. The title, Can I Break 50 with the #1 golf prodigy? This wasn't just a casual round. Bryson takes his game seriously, even in content videos. And Miles showed up ready. They played Shell Bay Club in South Carolina, and what unfolded was incredible. Miles matched Bryson shot for shot, drove the ball just as far. His wedge game was pristine. His creativity around the greens had Bryson laughing in disbelief. At one point, Bryson looked at the camera and said something like, "This kid has a very bright future." Coming from a major champion, that's not just a compliment. It's a coronation. Nearly 2 million people watched that video. Miles Russell wasn't just known in golf circles anymore. He was becoming a household name. And it wasn't just Bryson. PGA Tour pros started talking about Miles. Some were impressed. Others were intimidated. Because here's the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to say out loud. If a 16-year-old can compete with you right now, what's he going to do when he's 25, in his physical prime, with 10 more years of experience? Miles also competed at the U.S. Amateur, one of golf's most prestigious events. Walking those fairways with the best amateur golfers in the world, many of whom were college stars in their 20s, Miles held his own. His name appeared on leaderboards. His swing was dissected by analysts. Mark Immelman, a respected swing coach and commentator, did a full swing analysis video on Miles, praising his fundamentals and predicting major success. You can't talk about young golf prodigies without mentioning Tiger Woods. And honestly, people have been hesitant to make that comparison because it's been overused for decades. Every talented junior golfer gets called the next Tiger, and it's exhausting. But with Miles Russell, the comparison isn't disrespectful, it's unavoidable. Both made professional-level cuts as teenagers. Both had swings that looked effortless but generated massive power. Both possessed an unshakable mental game. Both had that killer instinct that separates champions from competitors. Here's where it gets interesting. People also compare Miles to Charlie Woods, Tiger's son. Charlie has enormous talent, a famous last name, and all the resources in the world. But Miles? Miles has already done things Charlie hasn't. Miles has competed on the Korn Ferry Tour and PGA Tour. He's made cuts. He's faced professionals and survived. That's not a knock on Charlie. He's still incredibly young and talented. But right now, today, Miles Russell is ahead. And that's created this fascinating rivalry, at least in the media and among fans. Some YouTube videos pit them against each other with titles like Miles Russell Exposed Charlie Woods or Who's the Real Future? It's clickbait, sure, but it's also a legitimate question. Between the two biggest junior golf stars in America right now, who's going to become the next dominant force in professional golf? Based on results, Miles is leading that race. Let's get technical for a second, because Miles Russell's golf swing deserves its own discussion. If you've watched any footage of him, you've probably noticed something. His swing looks completely effortless, yet the ball rockets off the club face. Golf swing analysts have broken down his mechanics, and what they've found is fascinating. Miles has near-perfect sequencing. His backswing is smooth and controlled. His transition from backswing to downswing is where the magic happens. He generates lag like a tour pro, storing energy that explodes through impact. His follow-through is balanced and controlled, which is why he can repeat this swing over and over without breaking down. But what really stands out is his versatility. In one viral TaylorMade video, Miles demonstrated hitting multiple shot shapes on command. High fade, low draw, straight bullet, knockdown punch shot. Each one executed perfectly. That level of control at 16 years old is almost unheard of. His wedge game is equally impressive. There's footage of Miles hitting a flop shot with a 3-iron, a club that has almost no loft, and getting it to stop on a dime. Pros watched that clip and shook their heads. That's not a shot most tour players would even attempt, let alone pull off. And his putting? Robotic. He's drained 30-footers under pressure. He's made clutch 6-footers to save par in professional events. His pre-putt routine is consistent, which means his brain is locked in, not second-guessing. TaylorMade knows they've struck gold. They feature him in promotional content constantly. He's using their latest drivers, irons, and balls, and he's proving that their equipment performs at the highest level. For a company, that's priceless marketing. For Miles, it's validation that he's already a professional in everything but official status. So here's the big question. What does the future actually hold for Miles Russell? Because right now, he's in a unique position. He's too young to turn professional. He just turned 17 in February 2025. But he's too good to just play junior golf. He's committed to Florida State University, one of the best college golf programs in the country. That decision alone tells you something about Miles's mindset. He could potentially try to turn pro early, chase sponsors' exemptions, and start making money. But instead, he's choosing to develop his game in college, compete in NCAA tournaments, and continue building his foundation. That's smart. College golf will give him structure, coaching, and competition against other elite players. It'll prepare him mentally for the grind of professional golf. And when he does turn pro, likely after 2 or 3 years of college, he'll be ready. Not just talented, but ready. The PGA Tour is already watching. Sponsors are circling. Equipment companies are locked in. When Miles turns professional, he won't be scraping by on mini tours hoping for a break. He'll have exemptions, sponsorships, and opportunities most players spend years trying to earn. And here's the thing that should terrify every current tour player. Miles is only going to get better. Right now, at 16, he's already competing. Imagine him at 21, with a college golf career behind him, more experience, and a fully developed adult body. Imagine him at 25, in his absolute prime, with 5 years of professional golf under his belt. If he stays healthy, if he stays hungry, if he continues progressing at this rate, Miles Russell is going to win major championships. That's not hype. That's pattern recognition. Every indicator points in the same direction. Golf has been waiting for its next superstar. Tiger Woods dominated for 2 decades, but his prime is over. Rory McIlroy has been fantastic, but hasn't captured that same global magic. Jordan Spieth had a moment, but hasn't sustained it. Scottie Scheffler is great, but doesn't have that crossover star appeal. Miles Russell has the potential to be that guy. He has the game. He has the personality. He has the story. A kid from Jacksonville who worked his way to the top, breaking records, and defying expectations. That's a narrative people will follow for decades. And for junior golfers everywhere, Miles is proof that age is just a number. If you're good enough, if you're mentally tough enough, you can compete with anyone. That's inspiring to every kid out there grinding on the range, dreaming of making it to the tour. Miles Russell is 16 years old, and he's already made history multiple times. He's competed on the PGA Tour. He's broken records that stood for generations. He's earned the respect of major champions. And this is just the beginning. In 5 years, you're going to see his name on PGA Tour leaderboards regularly. In 10 years, he'll probably have multiple tour wins. In 15, he could be a major champion, a household name, and one of the faces of professional golf. The future of golf isn't coming. It's already here, and its name is Miles Russell. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment and let me know. Do you think Miles Russell will become the next Tiger Woods? I'll see you in the next one. Keep grinding.